Welcome back, episode 10, Backyard Brawl. Switching it up today. Eagles season is a thing of the past. We're going to lead in with the Sixers today. Uh, we're going to go into some NCAA discussions, both on the football side. Season's now over. Shout out to Indiana. And then we'll go into some basketball discussion. Might mix some UFC in. Great card last night. First Paramount
Yeah,
card. Um, I don't really. I mean, I enjoyed the Paramount production. I didn't really care much for, the ads don't bother me. But
it's
some
eight
people,
dollars a month, so you really can't complain.
yeah, some people were really complaining about it on Twitter. But to me, that is what it is. And then I have a question to ask at the end, sports related question. Um, yeah, I think that was it. We might talk the Flyers. They got a pretty nice win, but I mean, unfortunately, they got a nice win. But if they don't win the next one, I'm back to being like, well,
I don't know. I mean, I'm at the point where I am with the Flyers, where they're playing a lot better than they were in years past. So
yeah, they're
it's like
better
one of
than they
these
are in
years. Like
years
if they make the
past.
playoffs, they make the playoffs. It'll be awesome. If they don't, they don't. So
But they keep doing this thing. Like they did it. I don't think it was last year. They were pretty bad, but like 2 years ago, like they got
mhm.
like really close. But like in sports, when you get really close, like you just mess up your draft pick, and then
Yeah,
like this is a team that
yeah,
does need draft picks. So I'd either rather them make it or tail off now because
mhm.
they need the picks. They're not
Yeah.
uber talented. But anyway, we're starting with the Sixers. Up and down week. They lose to Phoenix. Well, they beat Indiana. They lose to Phoenix. They beat Houston, and then unfortunately they lose to the Knicks yesterday in, uh, you know, controversial ending. But that is not the reason why they lost the game yesterday.
Yeah, no.
They lost because that abysmal third quarter that they played. Uh, the game against Houston the other night was super fun. Game to watch. The game against Phoenix again, they just played a bad third quarter and it kind of just, you know.
It's the story of the season. It's the story of the
Yeah.
season.
I mean, they had a little stretch where they were playing better in that period, but now it's like back to,
I mean, I got to back to look at the teams though that they played. I mean, aside from the Knicks in one of those games, but I mean, who knows?
yeah. But starting off, Joel Embiid, I mean, he's been fantastic. He's been fantastic. He's up to like around 30 points per game for the month of January or close. I think he's at like 29.7 maybe.
Mhm.
Um, he's playing great. He looks spry.
Healthy.
He had the little scare yesterday, which I'd have been pissed about because all Knicks fans talk about all the time is, oh, Joel Embiid's a foul baiter and he tried to injure Mitchell Robinson, whatever. Ariel Hukporti basically just laid down on his knee in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Like that, that would have pissed me off if he was really injured. And I don't think he's really injured, but we'll see if he misses the game against Charlotte tomorrow night. But yeah, I'd have been mad if that turned out to be something. Uh, but he's been really good. Tyrese Maxey's
Struggled
he's struggled
the
at
last few
times.
games. Since
He
the
was
All-Star announcement, he's been, you know,
yeah, he was good against Houston, bad against Phoenix. He wasn't bad yesterday, but I wish he would have shot the ball more. Like I remember when he had got that and one in the fourth quarter, and he was only like at the time he was only like 6 for 12. And I was like, dude, like
Mhm.
you got to have more shot attempts than that, you know? Like in the third quarter, I don't remember many shot attempts from him in the third quarter, and Dom Barlow had taken two threes, even though he made one. I was like, dude, like shoot the ball. Like I'd rather you shoot it than Dom
It's
Barlow.
like what Paul George is doing. Paul George is shooting the ball more. I can't really complain if he's making shots, and I would rather see Paul George go, I don't know, 7 for like 19 than 2 for 8. And I'd rather see him take more shots.
Yeah, I mean sometimes Paul George's shots are within the offense, other times they're more isolation shots. And sometimes like in the second quarter last night he was kind of getting it going. Um,
Hmm.
but again, like at a certain point they're going to need more output from him to win games. And
Yeah.
right now they're not necessarily getting that. Like what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball is contributing much more to them winning games than what he's doing on the offensive side of the ball. On an in and out, night in, night out basis. Uh,
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre was not phenomenal yesterday, but he's been good since he's came back. He was really big in the Rockets game. He's shooting well from three, even though again he didn't shoot well yesterday. Um, but like he's playing well, so can't really complain there. The biggest concern I think is backup center. I mean, Bonus sucks.
Well, I mean, they just
Clearly,
signed
Drummond
Charles
can't.
Bassey, but it's not going to really make a difference.
Well, that's just because if they have 15
Yeah,
players on the roster, Barlow and Walker can stay active for more games.
yeah.
So Bassey's most likely not going to play. Maybe they try
Bowen
him,
is
but
awful. I'd still I mean, I think you're one of them as well, but I would much rather see Drummond on the floor than Bona.
I just have concerns about Drummond's like consistent effort. Like I feel like there's nights where he doesn't really seem like he wants to be out there. Like
I know what you mean. Yeah,
also like neither of them are a plus offensively. So, but in a game against a guy like Mitchell Robinson who's out there strictly to offensive rebound,
yeah.
like I'd play Drummond. I don't know who played the games in New York. I think Bona played one and Drummond played another. But they went with Bona yesterday. It hurt him because Bona played some minutes in that third quarter and he wasn't any good. So,
I
uh,
mean, Bona just looks like he's. I don't want to say running around with a chicken with like a chicken with its head cut off because he does have his moments where defensively in transition he's phenomenal, but like offensively he's like a traffic cone. He literally provides nothing. He provides absolutely nothing.
yeah, like every once in a while he gets a dunk. He's not
Yeah,
that on scale. I mean, he gets fouled sometimes. He's a much better free throw shooter than Drummond is.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, like there was a possession yesterday where he like they threw it to Robinson at the elbow and then Bona basically like quarter hied him at the elbow and Robinson just like spun around him and dunked, which should never happen because Mitchell Robinson has no offensive game whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday, overall, I saw a lot of Sixers Twitter yesterday turning on Quentin Grimes. Overall, I'm like pretty fine with Quentin Grimes. Like, I
Yeah.
think he's a really good defender. You said yesterday you don't like him in transition. I actually do. I think that's when he's
I kind of
best.
have a bit of I mean I have a heart attack every time in transition because I think he's
Well,
going to turn the ball over.
he
So
plays very like aggressive. Like he dribbles the ball hard. He sometimes dribbles the ball high, like all that stuff. But I think in transition, like he's a pretty acrobatic finisher around the rim. So I don't
yeah,
worry that much when he's in transition. The problem is like over the past 10 games, he's down to like 25% from three, which is abysmal.
yeah,
Uh, like his mid-range game isn't good, and every once in a while he finds himself taking like pull-up middies. But they're
yeah.
gonna need him to play better because as of right now, they don't have a backup guard. I mean, Jerry McCain is not playing well in the G League, wherever
I
he
mean
finds his minutes.
I mean Grimes is going to be your sixth man basically coming
Yeah.
off the bench. So I mean
Um,
he'll do what he has to do, but I don't know. I mean I'm completely fine with how they've played over the last few games. I know it's been lackluster, but I will say like game wise, yesterday was the most fun game I've watched all year. Aside from the loss, I thought it was the most fun game I watched. So
yeah, I mean, I just wish
it
the
was
first half was awesome. I just wish they didn't play such a poor third quarter and like, if they're only down 10 going into the fourth, like maybe they do come back and win. Maybe they come back, take the lead, and still lose. But
yeah.
it just felt like they were making this push at the end of the game that was like it always felt like it was a little bit too little, too late. Like I never really felt like they were gonna win outside of the first quarter, the first half.
The,
I did.
the only thing that really ticked me off, aside from the loss, was the amount of Knicks fans that were in the building. I mean, we see that every
Yeah,
year. It's a Saturday afternoon. They're going to come down and travel.
I don't even know if
That
it's that
angered me a
much about
lot.
like
It's
I,
more affordable for a Knicks fan to come here and watch a game than it is for them to go watch in Madison Square Garden.
yeah, and
I
I
think
think it's
that's why
also
you see
just
so
that
many
like
Knicks fans here.
I think it's that like there's also a lot of Knicks in this local area. Like these
Yeah,
kids, like these grow up in New York, grow up in the city, whatever it may be, like realize that, you want to get out of the city, move to a nice, suburban part of
area.
New Jersey so you still feel kind of close to the city. But, I think a lot of the Knicks, like, I think if you ask, like, still a lot of them are from New Jersey, from, I doubt as much Philly, but I'm sure there's a lot in New
Yeah,
Jersey. Uh, but yeah, it's always disappointing. And I guess there's not that much they
especially
could do
being
about it.
there. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, the Comcast doesn't give a shit. The Xfinity Center, whatever it is, they don't care. As long as they can get butts and seats, they'll sell it to whoever. We saw it last year against the Knicks, or 2 years ago, excuse me, against the Knicks.
Yeah,
They'll sell the tickets to anybody. And the reality of the situation is it's going to continue to happen. There's really nothing you can do because there's
yeah,
that many Knicks fans in the area. You could argue that are going to go to a Sixers game. and Sixers fans won't travel to Madison Square Garden. It's not like the
Yeah.
Eagles. Well, they'll go to MetLife. You can't afford it. It's like two,
Well,
three
weirdly
hundred dollars
enough,
for
that
nose.
playoff series, the Sixers have had success playing in New York. Like
Dude,
they've
they
won
don't.
games
I
up
don't
in New
think. I
York.
don't
They're
think.
2 and
I
0
don't
this
think.
year.
Yeah, I don't think the Sixers are a team that need fans to travel to win
Yeah.
games. I don't think they ever have been like that. It's obviously a plus. Football, I feel like it makes much more of a difference. Um, Traveling fan base wise. But I don't know. I went to a Knicks game 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago with Mike and Jack, and it was packed with Knicks fans.
Yeah.
Packed.
Yeah.
So, and we lost that game. So,
I mean, listen, I'll say this: when the Knicks are better, it's when the Knicks are good, it's better for basketball overall because they do have such a wide fan base. But like, as we again scrolling on Twitter, like engaging with their fans is tough because they're like Sixers did the Knicks a favor yesterday by fouling Cat out of the game because he was awful. And people are
yeah.
like, Cat should replace Giannis as the All-Star starter. No way. Cat was extremely unimpressive yesterday. Um,
Now, speaking of Giannis, we had the conversation yesterday. We're on different pages about it, and I get where you're coming from. Maybe like you know more about a basketball. You're more savvy basketball IQ wise than I am. So I'm looking at it from a NBA fan perspective as just like a casual watcher, and kind of basing it off what happened with Jimmy Butler. We're on two different sides of the spectrum. You wouldn't package VJ Edge coming to trade for Giannis. I would. I would because first of all, it's fucking Giannis. I think it gives you a 3.5 year window to 3 or 4 year window to win a championship. You're still able to win games without Embiid on the floor, which kind of have to put that into perspective because he's not going to play every game for the rest of his career. So I think it gives you a better chance of winning games if you don't have Embiid. I think Paul George retires pretty soon, so I think he'd be going. So I don't know, but I love VJ Edgecombe. That's the problem. But I'm looking at it
well,
from a
I don't
basketball
think VJ would be in the
perspective.
package anyway. Like I haven't seen a
I don't know.
package. I
I
haven't
don't
seen
know.
a package that was
I feel like
proposed
that's.
that
I feel like they would ask for that though. I mean, who else would
yeah,
they
they
ask
probably
for?
would, but I think when you brought it up, I'll be completely honest. I saw it on so I saw I don't know who I saw talking about it, and the one that I saw was McCain, Paul George, uh it was either Kelly Oubre or Justin Edwards, and then the 29 Clippers pick and then another pick. So it was two picks, three players, and then the Sixers would probably get another player back from Milwaukee. And when I saw that one, I was like, I'm not doing it. When you brought up VJ, it actually pissed me off when I
Well,
when
I
I
could
saw you
tell.
bring
I
up
know it did, but I
VJ.
wouldn't package. I wouldn't put in three guys if we're giving up VJ. It would be VJ and one other player.
No, well, you have to match the salaries. VJ's salary is nothing.
Okay, so you throw in like fucking instead of Paul George, you throw in Kelly Oubre and two other guys. So you make it four players.
No, but Paul George is the salary. That's where
Oh,
the
I didn't know
salary
that.
is coming from. But
But I
like
don't know. I
this is
would
what I'm
throw
trying to
VJ in a trade for him. If that's what they wanted, and that would be the deal maker, I'm 100% pulling the trigger.
But you're going off of the fact. First off, you're saying that Embiid's going to miss games and you need another guy that's out there. Giannis has missed more games after this 4 to 6 weeks that he's out. He's going to have missed more games than Embiid's missed this year. So you're not
That's this
guaranteed.
year though.
You're
That's this year.
but you're
He
but
hasn't
yeah,
done
but
that in
we're
years past. He hasn't done that
he
in years
hasn't.
past.
But do you get younger as years go forward, or do you get older?
You get older, but I mean, Giannis, excuse me, is more likely to play more games than Joel Embiid in the
I
foreseeable
think they're
future.
probably at
I
like the
don't think
exact
so.
same risk of being out games. Embiid is
I don't
more
think
likely to
so.
miss games in the long term. Giannis has consistently in his career been out 2 to 3 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And like I was trying to explain to you, the pairing of Embiid and Giannis, basketball wise, makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. Because
I just
first
find
off,
that kind of hard to believe, though.
okay, I'll take it. This also pissed me off. You go, well, the Giannis and Embiid pick and roll. Who do you like? Yeah, okay. Giannis gets a ball screen at 28 feet. You're just gonna go under the screen. He's not gonna shoot it, and if he does, he only shoots it at 30%, maybe at best for his career. His best 3-point shooting
It's
percentage is
still Giannis,
30%.
though. I still
But
think it gives you a
okay,
great
okay.
opportunity to win a
You play pickup.
championship.
You play pickup basketball. Tell me how you would. you would execute it. If you're Giannis, how you would run a pick and roll.
Right, if Embiid set the screen, I drive the
Okay.
lane, Embiid pops out at the 3-point line. I mean,
Embiid shooting,
I'd
Embiid was
rather
three
see
of
him
five.
shoot a three than Giannis, though. I'd rather see him shoot the three than Giannis. And who says it has to be?
You're
Who
right, but
says
Embiid is shooting like 34% from three this year. He's not shooting as well as he has in years past.
he hasn't played as many games? I mean, am I wrong? He hasn't
You
played as
know,
many games this year.
shy, shy. First off, he's played plenty of games this year. He missed one
No,
stretch. Compared to years past where he's gotten injured, like the game, he's already probably matched his games total from what he played against the year that he was dominating the league, like best season ever. Because he went out when they were like 20 something. He went out at 30 games. He's probably already played more than he did that year.
you
But
don't know what you're talking about.
okay, 2 out of 10, buddy.
I'm just saying, if I'm Daryl Morey and Giannis is up for
Dude,
trade and he's up for grabs,
Joel Embiid this year is shooting 28% from three.
I mean, I'd rather still see him shoot than Giannis. I don't see how that changes my argument.
Okay, but you're saying run the pick and roll with Giannis and Embiid. I would rather them run the pick and roll with VJ and Maxi with Embiid than run it with Giannis.
But who says you have to run the pick and roll?
You're the one that was like the pick and
No,
roll
I
would
didn't.
be unreal.
No, I didn't bring that. You brought that up, and then I challenged it. I'm like, maybe it
Giannis
would work
Giannis is
because
actually
you said the
shooting.
pick and roll wouldn't work. And I
Giannis
was
is
like,
at
I don't know,
it.
it could work.
It
And then I
wouldn't
was
work.
like, well, yeah, but then who said you have to run the pick and roll offense?
Okay,
I guess that's
but
what they
now,
do.
okay. Now I will show you what their most likely offense would look like. They would give the ball to Joel on the block. They would try and isolate Joel on the blocks, and they would have Giannis, right, be a cutter because you can't just let Giannis have a free run to the rim. So that would open up, now you have the guy on the opposite side corner. Now that defender has to tag. Joel's, empty throws to the wing, throws to the opposite side corner. And that's great. But let me tell you something. And you've watched the games. You're a big fan of him. Is Dominic Barlow not a terrific cutter?
I think he's a great cutter.
And guess how much Dominic Barlow is about to cost the Sixers?
Like nothing.
And what's Giannis going to cost the
A
Sixers?
lot, but I think Giannis gives you a better chance of winning a championship than fucking Dominic Barlow being on the roster. I'm not saying to
I
trade Dominic Barlow, but I would trade VJ right now. VJ's played 1 year in the league. Not even. He hasn't even played a full year yet. It's his first year.
but
Who
do
knows?
you
This
remember?
could be a Michael Carter Williams situation where he's great for 1 year and he doesn't do anything the rest of his career.
Okay, well, hopefully this doesn't happen. Michael Carter Williams also got hurt in his
I
first
get it.
year.
No, I get
And
it. I get it. But injuries
but
can happen to anybody.
right, but okay. So do you remember in Maxi's I think it was his second year and the team still had it was Embiid, Maxi, it was Embiid, Tobias who was playing well, Maxi, whatever. And the conversation came up of Kyle Lowry, trading for Kyle Lowry, who was still playing at a high level at the time. If the Sixers had traded for Kyle Lowry instead of Tyrese Maxey,
Yeah,
in
I
that
know. I
in
know.
that window, would they have had a better chance to win
Well,
with
no, I
Kyle
wasn't on the
Lowry?
boat if I didn't want Kyle Lowry. So, no.
A lot of people at the time said Kyle Lowry would get a veteran point guard with a big man like that pick and roll, that combo would give the Sixers a better chance to win. Where would the Sixers be right now if they had traded Maxey? They would be the
Oh,
Brooklyn
we'd be
Nets.
fucked. We'd be
They'd be the
fucked.
Brooklyn
But you
Nets.
could you could say that about anybody.
When you have a guard as talented as VJ is, this
Yeah,
early
but
in his
Giannis,
career,
Giannis is not Kyle Lowry. I don't even think that's like remotely the same thing.
but Shai, you're not listening. I just told you it wouldn't work.
How do you know? You have no idea.
You're not explaining to me why it would work.
Because it's Giannis. What do you mean it
So if
wouldn't
the,
fucking work?
so if the Sixers traded for Jokic, would it work?
Yeah, you could play. You put Jokic at the four. I mean, I don't think that'd be ridiculous. You could tell me our team wouldn't get better.
That's episode 10. Episode 10 is episode 10 of Backyard Brawl. There might not be an episode 11. Episode 11 is canceled.
You're gonna sit here and tell me that Jokic on this roster wouldn't improve this team.
with Embiid?
I think we would be better. I think we'd be much better.
No. Th- Basketball is not just football where you can surplus talent because, you put three
I know
cornerbacks on the.
it's not. We've seen that years past with the Brooklyn Nets and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not the case. But when you add one guy, I think we'd be fine.
Also, when you add in all that they're giving up, like I think one of their advantages is some nights it doesn't show up, but I feel like they have pretty good depth right now. I wouldn't want to throw their depth away because now if you trade Paul George, you trade VJ, and maybe I think the other guy that was in there was McCain. It's probably McCain they're gonna throw in there. Now you're looking at okay, you just lost two starters. You add Giannis. You'd start Maxey at point guard, Giannis at the four, and B at the five. Now you're having to slide Kelly Oubre to the three. You've got to start Quentin Grimes at the two. Now, seriously, you don't have any backup guards on your roster. None. You have no backup guards on your roster.
It's not like McCain has done anything anyways.
Right, but I'm saying you traded VJ and Paul George, two guys that you can play at a guard spot.
Yeah, but who's to say you don't get somebody else from the Bucks? I mean, I can't imagine it would only be Giannis.
I mean, okay, maybe they get a guy like a Gary Harris.
I don't know.
I don't
I'd have to
I don't
look. I
want
don't know.
Gary Harris to
I
play.
mean, I don't know. I would have to look at who they offered. But
And you're
only
giving
only
up
thing I wouldn't want
picks.
to give up. No, I wouldn't want to give up that 2029 pick.
That would have to be in there.
I know it would, but I mean that would be the only reason I wouldn't do the trade then.
Yeah, I think you're crazy to say that you're giving up VJ in a
Listen,
heartbeat
I
to
like
get a guy that
VJ
doesn't fit.
Edgecombe.
To get a guy that doesn't fit.
I I don't think you could say that. You have no idea. You don't know if they
No,
would
no, no,
change
no.
up the
Like I
offense. You have
watch
no
enough
clue.
basketball to be able to tell you that it would not fit. It would not work.
So if LeBron was on this roster, would it work?
Yeah, because LeBron can play one through four.
I don't know. I mean, who's to say you
I
need
tell
Giannis
you,
to
I'd
shoot a
rather.
three?
I wouldn't trade VJ for LeBron, but I would trade for LeBron.
Uh, Probably not at this point in his career. This was 2 years ago, yeah.
I mean, I would. I don't know what 1 year LeBron does. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather trade for. I think LeBron, if they needed to make something fit, LeBron fits way better than Giannis does.
Dude, I think we would be good. I think we would be just as good, if not better. I don't think it would have any harm to this roster at
Also,
all.
like it's also like I said, you're trading away you're trading away three guards, one who's a guard slash forward for another forward. Then now all you have on your roster is Maxey and Grimes. Those are your only two guards, and Hunter Salas and Marjon Beauchamp. Like you want them playing,
No, but then we have Giannis.
but you have Giannis, Trendon Watford, Kelly Oubre. This is your
I am
bench.
not
This
a
is your
Trent
bench.
Watford fan.
Listen to your starting lineup and bench at forward. You have Embiid, Bona, Drummond, Oubre, Watford, Barlow, Jabari Walker, Janai Broom. Hold on, that's eight forwards on the roster to two guards. Oh, I forgot. Kyle Lowry can play. Wait, I'll do you one better. Eric Gordon can play. How about that?
I mean, who gives a shit about the bench in the playoffs if Giannis is on the lineup, though? He's in the starting lineup. He doesn't have to come out.
Is
So
that you think Giannis can make it the whole postseason playing 48 a night?
he just doesn't want to be in Milwaukee.
He's gonna go to like oh,
Dallas.
maybe that's possible.
Dallas or maybe Phoenix. I don't even think Phoenix can afford him, though.
Phoenix has got to stop trading for all these big guys.
They have
They're
no
playing better.
money.
They're
They
playing
have
better.
no money. Yeah, they're playing great. They have no money.
Uh, uh, I
Imagine
could
he
see
goes
him
to like
going
a
to
Boston.
no.
I mean, that would never happen, but or
I
like a New
think
York.
I think Dallas is probably the best fit. I think Dallas is the most likely. Give up AD to Milwaukee. Like
Is that even, would they even do that? I don't even think they would do that.
I think Atlanta is an interesting pairing.
But why would he? I don't think he would want to go somewhere. where he knows he's going to have to carry the roster like he's doing right now. Like I think he wants somebody else.
I mean, I haven't looked. Again, it's so ludicrous, and I feel like it doesn't involve my team that I don't look at the Giannis trade, where he's going to go. So,
I think also everything collapsed with him when they fired Budenholzer.
yeah,
So
I don't think he's a
that
big
was
Doc
that was
Rivers fan.
that was one of the bad decisions they made. So
Yeah,
I mean, you can say the same thing about in Denver. Like they fired Malone for no
yeah.
reason. That made no sense to me.
NBA
Mid-season, by the way.
coaching half-lives in the NBA are not long.
It's all player run. It's all
Yeah,
player runner, and if unless the owner hates you, which is also that's a very common thing. We're
yeah,
starting to see it more in the NFL. I think what we're going to start to see more in the NFL is how the NBA is ran. It's going to be player run, or it's going to be like what the Eagles do now. It's full control with the owners. I mean, they've seen how successful it is, but not everybody is as smart as Howie Roseman. So I don't
that's true.
know. I mean, I thought it was going to happen with these players, where these players were getting traded, like with Devontae Adams. What was it, three different teams in 5 years or something like that?
Yeah, he was the
Something
Raiders for
crazy.
2 seasons, or he was with the
Yeah.
Raiders for like a season and a half.
hmm
Just the
And then he
Jets,
went to
Rams.
yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be like. But thank God we're not going down that path.
Yeah.
So it's going to
Well.
be a coaching
Anyway,
carousel pretty soon.
Sixers will probably be looking for a new coach next year, unless they
I
win a
hope so.
championship or maybe get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Who knows?
I
But
feel like you said on an early episode that really makes you think like I know we had Kawhi and Van Vliet and Siakam and Gasol and stuff like that, but how the fuck did he win a championship? Like
well,
what was he doing?
I think they
Like
got fortunate. Like you look at his defensive principles have been the same. And it shows with the Sixers now. Is like anytime a guy has the ball with their back to the basket or they're driving and they spin in the middle of the lane, anytime like that, Maxi, all these guards are going to hunt these steals from behind. And
yeah,
they're steals like, they're kind of top in the league in steals. But they also are tops in the league in giving up threes. Like a lot of teams attempt a lot of threes against us, and a lot of times they're all good looks. Knicks got a lot of good looks yesterday, mostly because of the offensive rebounding,
yeah.
less because of the gambling. Maxi was horrible on defense yesterday, just getting
I mean,
backdoor
they all
cut.
were. I don't think I could say that there was anybody who was standout on defense yesterday. I mean, they were
Yeah,
moving
I
the
mean, I
ball
guess
around us
because
like we had
Embiid's
we
assignment was cat. I guess like you could say Embiid was decent one on one, but defensive rebounding is a part of defense, and their
yeah,
defensive
they couldn't
rebounding
do
wasn't
it.
good. So.
Yeah,
Uh, but his defensive principles have been, we're going to be opportune with trying to get steals. And if that leaves open shooters, you know, so be it.
yeah.
But when you look at Toronto's run to the finals that year, they played Orlando in round one. Then they played the Sixers. Then they played the Bucks, and then they
Which
played
we would
Golden
have beaten,
State.
by the way.
Yeah, we'd have beaten the Bucks.
Yeah, I think we
But
would have beat the
like
Bucks in five.
I think that's a playoff run that was more like fitting to the mold of what Nick Nurse wanted to do defensively. Because you saw the next year they lost to Boston. Boston shoots a
Yeah.
shit ton of threes and makes a shit ton of threes. And then the next year after that, first year out of the bubble, Toronto played. They even make the playoffs?
I
Gosh.
can't remember.
It'd have been Bucks, Sixers, Knicks. The Heat were the. Hold on. I'm about to do
Didn't they
this. This is
lose? Didn't
crazy.
they lose to us one year?
Yeah, that was the year after. This
Yeah.
crazy memory right here.
Mm.
So the year the Sixers were the one seed. The Sixers were the one seed. The Bucks were the two seed. The No, the Nets were the two seed. The Bucks were the three seed. The Celtics were the seven seed. The Heat were the six seed, and then the 4 or 5 was Atlanta, New York,
Mm.
and then the eight seed was Washington. So the Raptors missed the playoffs completely. Then the next
Mm.
year they made the playoffs, uh, and they lost to us,
In the first round.
right? And
Yeah.
then and then he got fired. No, 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 no.
He got fired the year after that, I
Right,
thought. Yeah.
right. The year after that, he got fired, and that year they missed the playoffs. So
Because who did we lose to the year they missed the playoffs? We lost to who? Boston?
we lost to Boston, and
Yeah.
the other year they missed the playoffs. We lost to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he got fortunate with some defensive principles, and now it's back to back times the Sixers have hired coaches that won one championship with a pretty good roster, and it will never
Well,
happen again.
I think a lot of people forget Kawhi barely played that season. Like they just kind of held him out until the playoffs, I thought. I don't know how many games he
Sure.
played that entire season.
I know he missed the seasons that prior to that in San Antonio. The season that he was with Toronto, he only played 60 games, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
So he played in 60 games. In the regular season, I mean, he was 26 points per game, which to that point was his best season. I mean, he's had better ones post statistically, but yeah, I mean, we'll wrap this Sixers convo up. Hopefully, they've got Charlotte this week. They've got Milwaukee without Giannis. Those are two games they got to win.
Hmm.
But they got to stay right in the thick of it in the East because I do think that they can compete in the East.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the East isn't very good. You got three teams ahead of you.
Yeah.
That's about it. You'll get the.
My realistic trade deadline, and we'll cap it at this, is not trading for Giannis. But my dad brought this up the other day. I really like Jay Huff, the backup big for the Pacers. I don't know
Mhm.
if you watched any of that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
But my dad brought something interesting up. He was like, "Would you trade for TJ McConnell from Indiana
And give
to
up
be your
McCain
backup
and,
to be your
yeah.
backup point guard?" I mean,
Yeah.
he's proven that he's a playoff riser. You know, he's not defensively, he competes hard. He's a little bit undersized, but he'll give you steals. He'll give you those momentum plays where he steals the ball in the front court.
Mhm.
Like
I mean, he's also somebody I trust if I'd say a Maxi fouls out. I mean, I'm not saying that will happen, but I
he's
don't
also
trust
loved.
McCain to.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
loved
I
here.
don't
So
trust McCain to come in and fill those shoes. I don't
yeah,
really trust Grimes, honestly, fully yet to come in and fill those shoes. So
hopefully
I'd
that
rather
never
see
happens in the
McConnell.
playoffs. That Maxi
No,
fouls out.
no, no,
I mean,
no.
he hasn't fouled out to this point this season, but yeah. All right, we didn't say this at the beginning, but we'll go to the Eagles very quickly. Um, they're still in the search for an offensive coordinator. They lost shit. Why can't I think of his name? Who was the cornerbacks coach who went to Dallas?
I don't know. Cooper DeJean called him CP, and everybody thought that was,
Chris Parker.
yeah,
Christian Parker. He goes to Dallas. Players seem to really like him. Now Clint Hurt is getting interviewed for defensive coordinator jobs. So that happened.
really. I didn't see that.
I
I
don't
didn't
know
see that
which.
at all.
It might have been Washington, maybe. I think Washington's in the
That
search.
would be, I mean, I can't imagine how hard it is or how difficult it is to find a good defensive tackles coach. But I mean, Clint Hurtt, I feel like that would be a big loss for this team.
Clint Hurt interviewed with the Dolphins.
Hmm.
So that happened. And then, so it was said that we said on the show last week their top candidates for offensive coordinator were Brian Dable and Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel is in LA and is interviewing
They
for
will,
head coaching jobs still, but he's going to
yeah.
be the offensive coordinator for the Chargers if he doesn't take a head coaching job. And then Brian Dable uh, hasn't signed anywhere, but he's not taking the Eagles job.
I don't
He's
think he wants to come here. I don't think he wanted to come
yeah.
here from the start, which is, I
So
have a question. If you're, I mean, it's been in the media like all week, and I think I said on my radio show the other day, I think it's a dumb question. I think it's just a rage bait provoking thing that they're putting out. They're saying that the Eagles job is not desirable. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Um, you know, obviously, as a coordinator, the first thing you're looking at is the quarterback. Is the quarterback easy to work with? Again, if I'm an OC and I need to find a fucking job, your best chance to get a head coaching job is still, or your best chance to get a head coaching job after being a first year coordinator, maybe, is still the Philadelphia Eagles. We've done
yeah,
it constantly. So to even say, oh, this is not a desirable roster, AJ Brown's not going to be here next year. Okay. So if that's really
More
what the
likely
main
than
issue is,
more
if
likely
that's what
than
the main,
not.
yeah, if that's what the main issue is, that I just think you're being an idiot. I'm taking this job before any other job at all and
Yeah,
just
I
sit
mean
on
the
my
Eagles have
fucking
shown
computer.
twice that they have been able to put offensive coordinators into head coaching jobs. I
Hmm.
mean, uh, McDaniel was already had been a head coach.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe him going to LA, he believes he'll get a job anyway. But like Justin Herbert had Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore had to come here before he got a head coaching job.
Yeah.
Uh, Dable, I don't know where he ends up, but
I can't imagine Buffalo. I just can't.
I think it's possible he's the
That
head
would be a
coach there.
really bad,
I think
that'd be
Josh
just an
Allen,
awful downgrade.
I think Josh Allen being on the search for the coach helps Dable a lot.
Yeah.
I would take
I
Joe
don't
Brady
know.
if
I
Dable
would
if
take
Dable.
Brady.
I would take Joe Brady if Dable. I would also take he's got a long name. He's the Rams offensive coordinator. I think it's Shielhouse is his last name.
Something like that, yeah.
It's like I'll look it up.
Well, one thing I don't want the Eagles to do is go out and hire one of these young guys like Charlie Weiss Jr. Or the kid Declan Doyle from Chicago.
Charlie Weiss isn't happening.
No, probably not. But I didn't really like the fact that they were even interviewing. And somebody made a good point on the
Oh wait, it's
radio
not
I was
their
listening
OC.
to.
It's their OC is Mike LaFleur. Their
Mm,
passing game specialist, Nate Shielhouse, is getting interest for an OC job.
no, I don't know. I mean, maybe they were interviewing Charlie Weiss Jr. for future reference, just to establish a relationship with a guy. You know, it's really hard to get a permanent offensive coordinator. You know, whoever you hire now is not going to be here the next 2, 3 years unless you win three Super Bowls. But even still, it's not the case. But I'd rather them hire like a Jim Bob Cooter or something like that. Or I mean, might be a stretch. Frank Reich is still on the market. I mean, who knows if
I
he'd
don't
still
even
be a
think
good
they've
offensive
interviewed. I don't think
coordinator?
they've interviewed him
Probably
though.
not. Probably not.
I think their best option right now, from the guys that they have interviewed, is probably Bobby Slowick.
I wouldn't mind the hire.
DJ Stroud played his best season under
But
him.
like, what is a guy like Declan Doyle going to do? I feel like that's the same thing as hiring a Kevin Petula. Declan Doyle wasn't calling the plays.
No,
It was Ben Johnson. So
but
what
again,
is he? I mean, that's like the same type of hire that we just talked with
again,
Kevin Petullo.
again though, hiring a guy now the Eagles' two promotions that they've made under Sirianni that didn't work, they were promoting guys who were under the offensive coordinator. Declan Doyle is a guy who's under the head coach.
Yeah,
So like, for example, if Sirianni were our play caller, right? Say Sirianni could call plays, which he can't, but say he could call plays. Um, and then they were promoting, and then people were poaching Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore from us because they were the OC. They didn't call the plays, but they were
yeah.
under a guy who did call plays successfully. That would be a different story. But we were promoting like the quarterbacks coach, the pass game coordinator, and you know,
You weren't
I also
looking
saw an
out. You weren't
interesting
looking outside.
I saw an interesting report. I don't know if you read this, that one of the reasons people aren't coming here is they're getting promised this complete autonomy over the offense, but apparently Stoutland isn't willing to give up the run game.
I mean, I don't know how true that is. I don't know who the report came from. If it came
I
from
think it
somebody
was
like Tim
Diana. I think it
McManus,
was Diana Rossini.
yeah. See, I don't believe that one bit.
I mean, she's
I,
pretty.
I just can't believe her.
She's pretty reliable. I've seen her
I
be
mean, she
correct
was
a lot
stirring
with
the
stuff.
pot all fucking year with this AJ Brown thing, so I don't really know what to believe.
Yeah, but clearly the
Um,
AJ Brown stuff was all true.
yeah, and it was all true. So I don't know. I mean, I don't like to believe it. Maybe that is the case. If I'm the Eagles, if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm not giving up the run. I'm not making Jeff Stoutland give up the run game after one bad season. I just,
I'd make him give up the run game to focus on his offensive line unit, who was horrible this year.
I mean, maybe if that's what needs to happen, but again, I'm not the GM, so
Yeah,
for a reason.
I think that I would like to see an offensive coordinator get brought in soon because I think there's a lot of offensive personnel coaches that they
Yeah,
have that need to go. Like Joe Moorhead's got to go.
Yeah. Well, you forget they waited a long time to hire Kellen Moore. They hired Kellen Moore on the 27th of January. We didn't hear about it until the 7th of February. So it took them a while to find an offensive coordinator. Another reason I don't want them to bring in a young guy, and even if he was under Ben Johnson or whatever, like, yeah, there's a plus there, but this guy's also 29 years old. I think that an age gap, like there's got to be a decent age gap between the coordinator and some of your guys on the offense. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, because
That's
we know
fair.
how Jalen, I mean, we don't know him personally, but through what we've seen in the media, we know how Jalen acts. I find it a little bit hard to believe that a guy like Jalen Hurts is, going to take criticism well from an offensive coordinator who's, how old is Jalen? What, 27,
Mm,
28?
around
I
there,
don't even know.
something.
Yeah, he's around that age. So a guy who's 2 years older than him, me personally, I'd find it hard to fucking listen to whatever my roommates tell me to do. I'm fucking listen to them. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think again, I would imagine that Jalen is probably a good listener and a good, taker of criticism. He just
you know,
doesn't show emotion. So, he's not going to be like, he's not the type of guy that's going to be nodding his head and being like, yeah, 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 for sure. He stays
yeah.
kind of at one level. But I don't think they're going to hire Declan Doyle. I don't think this,
No, no,
I think
but
it's,
I didn't.
you know, it is what it is. I think it's going to be Bobby Slowick, and maybe they make a different hire that's a little more interesting, a little more unknown. Maybe they
I would
take a
like a
risk.
Nagy. I would like a Matt Nagy. I wouldn't
Yeah, I
mind
think
that.
it says
He's
something
worked
though
with
that,
Mahomes. He's worked with Mahomes. He's technically Mahomes' quarterback coach. I mean, he
yeah, I
wasn't
think it
calling
says something though a
plays,
little
but
bit that he called plays and the Chiefs felt the need to bring Bieniemy back. That speaks a little
but
bit
I
to
don't
me.
think he did call. I don't think he did call plays. I
Who,
mean, Andy
Nagy?
Reid is calling the plays.
I would like a guy. I would either like them to make a guy who's, Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo were not seen around the league as like, we got to go get these guys. But, if you're getting a guy from under uh, Sean McVay or somebody like that who's maybe in that quarterbacks coach, pass game coordinator, a role like that, I would be more comfortable with their offensive knowledge than, if they make a hire. Think about it. If they're going to take a risk on a guy from the outside, it's not that it would suck as fans that if it doesn't work, we're going through another year of that. But then Sirianni
Mhm.
gets fired anyway. So,
Yeah,
like, then we're going to have a clean house no matter what. So, I think this hire has less pressure on it because Sirianni's going to get the whole, everybody's on the hot seat in this next upcoming season. If they don't reach the
yeah.
standard that they believe they can reach, we're going to be looking for new staff anyway. So,
Now, what's the standard you hold them at? 'Cause I'm not holding them to the standard of getting to the Super Bowl again. I know that's for sure. I mean, if they
I mean,
obviously go out the way they went out this year, yeah, I would have a problem.
I,
I think regardless of how they played in the season, if they how they play in the season, they can play better throughout the regular season. And if they lose the way they did against the Niners next year, I'm firing Sirianni.
I couldn't tell you what my expectation would be just because I don't know who's going to be here. Like if they ran it
Yeah,
back with this same exact roster, I would say with a new offensive coordinator, I would say the expectation is to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl.
yeah.
But most likely their roster is going to look way different. So I just don't
But
know.
I'm also not of the believer that Jalen Hurts is on the hot seat because I think that's ridiculous.
No,
I think
they're
that's
paying him too
absolutely
much.
ridiculous. Well, it's not even just that. I mean, take a look at other quarterbacks who have faced utter failure, and still it took them 7 years, 8 years to win a Super Bowl. John Elway, what, lost four fucking Super Bowls, and then it took him 2 more years after that to win two. So a guy like I mean Jim Kelly never won, but still went to
You
four Super
also you
Bowls.
also see like I don't you see a clear lack of criticism for Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, two
Hmm.
guys that have had minimal playoff success. I mean, they've won a couple
Yeah,
playoff games here and there, but
they were.
yeah,
I mean, they've played awful in the postseason, and
yeah.
you could argue. I would argue that Justin Herbert has less help than Josh Allen. I mean, Justin Herbert had nobody.
Yeah, but Justin Herbert is awful in the playoffs. He's awful.
Yeah,
He throws a
he's had.
lot of
Yeah.
picks, and he doesn't like this year. He didn't fucking score a touchdown, so
Hmm.
got them into field goal range one time.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah,
But I'm not of the believer of giving up on your quarterback after he's been to two Super Bowls, won one, outplayed Mahomes in his first Super Bowl, and you want to just give up on him? I think that's crazy to me. There's no patience. There's absolutely no patience amongst NFL fans anymore. It's either you lose, it's either you win or you're out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so,
That's how it is in most sports, though.
especially this fan base,
Hmm.
There's no more fucking patience anymore. So I don't know. I think next year, like I said, if it ends the way it did this year, you got to get rid of Sirianni, and you have to bring in a well-rounded, offensive-minded coach. No more fucking leadership in the locker room. And he has his pros. We were talking the other day with DA, great clock management. He's obviously a leader in the locker room amongst men, but that's not good enough nowadays. It's just not gonna. You got lucky last or 2 years ago, Kellen Moore. One of the best hires ever. And he was supposed to be our
Yeah,
head
but
coach.
I'm not. I wouldn't discredit. I wouldn't discredit what Sirianni has done here. Like if Sirianni got fired, just like Doug Peterson, it didn't end great, but got a Super Bowl. Like I wouldn't discredit what Sirianni did for that team. I wouldn't just say, oh, it was Fangio and Kellen Moore. Sirianni did nothing. Like Sirianni was sitting at his desk, you know, twiddling his thumbs all week leading up to the game. Like,
Mhm.
I wouldn't do that. But,
I mean, as long as Howie Roseman is around and Jeffrey Lurie is around, they will have complete autonomy over what goes on with this coaching staff and this offense, which I have no problem with. I don't care. I don't care. But it might be harder to find a head coach if Sirianni's gone. Might make it that much harder.
yeah, yeah.
So who
Listen,
knows?
they won just a year ago. They can easily get back. They're still going to have a talented roster next year. It might just not be, what on paper should be the best roster in the league. So we'll see. Pivoting now, we'll stay on football, but we'll go to the college level. Um, just quickly on some of these like NIL disputes that we're seeing. Just a bunch of situations with like, you know, college kids who are signing contracts and then wanting out of their contract to go to another school. I mean, what
I
your
mean, we saw it
thoughts?
a few years ago with the quarterback from Nevada. Now, allegedly, they weren't going to pay him, and he's like, "Okay, fuck you guys. I'm not playing." I think it was the kid from UNLV or something like that.
I don't remember this.
Opted out, and people were pissed. And then they found out the school didn't have the money to even pay him, so he went somewhere else. I think the next season. But I mean, I'm for like name it. I feel like I've said this ad nauseum on the pod. I'm for name, image, and likeness. If your name's being sold on the back of a jersey, yeah, go ahead. If you got your own brand sponsorships. But again, like you have these schools now panhandling that cannot compete with an Alabama or a Michigan or Ohio State. And you're not going to see football programs within the next 20 years if this continues. So there needs to be regulation. There needs to be a salary cap set.
Hmm.
Um, it is what it is. And then another thing, this has nothing to do with NIL, but Notre Dame being promised a bid to the college football playoff next year if they make it inside the top 12. I mean, that's
Yeah, I'm not a
absolutely
fan.
ridiculous to me. That's fucking insane. They're not even in a conference. They're not even in a
That's the
conference.
solution. The
And their
solution
schedule
is you
next year,
make
did you
them
see
join a
their schedule
conference.
next year? They play two Big Ten teams. One's fucking Wisconsin, and I think the other is it might have been Michigan State. I can't
I
remember.
know they
But
play.
two
I know they
shit
play.
Big Ten
I think they
teams.
play 8 teams that had 8+ losses from
Yeah,
last year.
they don't play anybody. They don't play anybody.
But that's the way that it is now. Like going undefeated is more important than going, 2 losses but having some good wins. So people are going to view that undefeated like, oh, they didn't lose. They're not going to care. Notre Dame will
Yeah.
happily take that 10 spot, get in, and try and win some games. And it's probably going to hurt them because their lack of, competition. I also don't like that, if Notre Dame had joined the ACC becomes more competitive. Now you're looking at the ACC. Like if it was this year, I don't think that Duke would have put up any better of a game than JMU did. But at least JMU won their
Uh,
league.
I mean, JMU starting to compete at the end of the game.
Yeah, but like
I
at
know you
least
don't like the betting
JMU.
stuff, but they covered.
At least JMU
So
won their league, or
yeah.
at least JMU won their league with a strong record. Duke
Hmm.
had to get everybody else to lose the last week of the season. They creep in and then they upset Virginia, who shouldn't have been in
No.
the title game either. So it's
Well,
just,
the ACC is just awful.
nah,
The
yeah,
ACC sucks.
it's good in basketball. They're competitive
Yeah.
in basketball this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Make Notre Dame join the ACC. Get Clemson and Notre Dame don't like each other. You get another team in there, make some rivalries. Notre Dame already plays ACC teams. They play Stanford. They play Syracuse.
Got to
So
play Syracuse towards the end of the year, I think.
yeah, like you know, make it
But
interesting.
yeah, no, I also just don't like the Notre Dame fan base. I think that's a lot of where my hatred comes
I
from.
found
'Cause,
out recently that like nobody does outside of Notre Dame, bro.
yeah, why would you? Because how many people do you know who went to Notre Dame? Like, excuse, let me rephrase this. How many people do you know like Notre Dame? I don't know if you know anybody,
Unless
but
they're
I got like
Irish.
three. Yeah, I
I
got
don't
like
know
three
many Irish
friends
people.
here who are of Irish descent, like 20% Irish. Um, they don't know anybody who went to Notre Dame. They have a fat uncle who has a Notre Dame tattoo on his calf. And you ask him, "Oh, did you go to Notre Dame?" He's like, "No, I didn't even go to college." So he just likes Notre Dame because he's Irish. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like me rooting for the fucking Maccabi basketball team because I'm Jewish. I don't give a
Yeshiva.
fuck. Yeshiva, yeah, whatever they are. I don't care. It's insane to me. It's
Yeah.
absolutely insane. And they have the audacity to complain like, what did Miami make and we didn't make? Because you lost to Miami. You fucking lost to Miami. That's why
Yeah,
you
I
didn't
think
get
what they're
in.
complaining more about is almost like they felt like they wanted people to feel bad for them that whole week leading up, they were like, okay, we're in the field. And then why didn't you just the week before? If you were going to swap Miami and Notre Dame, neither of them played on the conference championship Saturday. Why
Hmm.
didn't you just put Miami in the week before? If you knew you were going to do that, why didn't? So I think that's what they were upset about. But again, who cares, bro? Miami went to the national championship. Maybe if Notre Dame was in, that would have been Notre Dame. But you know, yeah. My take on the NIL thing, really quick before we move on, is that I just think like feel it out. Like go in the portal, test these schools, and then if you want to come
Yeah,
back, if you talk and say, "Listen, I might come back," yeah, yada yada, whatever. Then you come back, and if the school says if you go in the portal, we're not taking you back. Then you have to
yeah.
make a decision. But
Well,
like,
there also has to be a sit out year to prevent this from
I think you
happening.
get one for free.
I don't know. I don't.
There's
Yeah.
circumstances that
Okay. At
arise.
first, I disagreed with you. If your coach leaves mid-season, yeah, you should get
No, if your
another
coach leaves at
free.
all.
Yeah, you should get at the end of the year though.
No, I'm saying like you're saying that they shouldn't get any free transfers.
Like, no, I think you need to sit out a year.
I would say absolutely I would give one free transfer. You can transfer once for free. And that's how it used to be. It used to be you transfer once for free, and then if you transferred again, you had to stay out a year.
No.
If I would transfer once for free because there's circumstances of, you know, there's just so many circumstances that, you see kids all the time like I had to get closer to home. There's, whatever's the situation at home may be, your coach leaves, your positions coach leaves, all that. Because if you get one free transfer, you committed to a school out of high school because that was the best fit for you. But then you get there and you have to play 3 years minimum in college. They're never going to make regulations in high school. I mean, there's like what the regulations in high school are like you got to sit out like 3 games if you transfer.
Um,
Like basketball, I know it's 8 games.
no, it depends. It depends when you transfer.
Yeah, but like they make kids sometimes sit out like 4 games.
Well, if you transfer mid-season, yeah, you got to sit out 4 games. So if you transfer sometime, and if you transfer at the beginning of the season, yeah, you're out for 4 games. If you transfer in the summer, like during that open window, you can play the entire season in high school. And it also varies by like prep schools and
Yeah,
private
yeah.
schools. I know for public schools, there was a kid who came in when we were here, and he transferred mid-season, and they turned around and told him, "No, you have to sit out 6 games because you transferred outside of the window." And at that point, he was like, "Okay, well, there's no point in me playing because I'm not gonna make the fucking play. We're not gonna make the playoffs because we sucked. And there was 5 games left in the season. So
Yeah, they're
I mean,
never going to
I
regulate it
don't
in
think
high
it's
school.
really, I don't really think it's that big of a problem in high school transferring.
I mean, it is in basketball. I feel like kids are always doing
I
that.
don't know for football how it works, but
Uh, yeah, I just would give one for free, and then you got to sit out every time. Other than that, you got to sit out for a year, and your eligibility doesn't extend just because you sat out a year. You're still going to have the one redshirt
I
year.
understand the coaching reason. But if you're transferring because it didn't work out for you there after your first year, I mean, it's tough shit. Obviously, it sucks, but that's what college sports is, you know? So,
I mean, that's
and
one way to
I
look
think
at
it
it, but I
also
would
brings a
definitely give
lack.
one for free. I think one for free is kind of the consensus belief of what people would want out of the transfer portal, and then
I
you got to sit out times after that. You get
mean,
one
there's
year of
also a lack
redshirting,
of.
and
I think it creates a lack of culture, though.
but that's always going to be a problem.
Yeah, but it never used to be a huge problem.
Yeah, people are. I mean, they would probably make the rules that if you wanted to drop down a division, if you wanted to go from Division 1 to Division 2, you didn't have to sit
Mhm.
out a year. But who knows? In basketball news, I just got a actually tweet from Jeff Goodman. The Tennessee Volunteers are signing Harry Green to their roster. He found eligibility, so he
Get the
actually
fuck out of here.
he actually has eligibility left, and they want to bring in Harry Green to compete on their roster. On a serious note,
He's
it
a
is
versatile
ridiculous.
three.
It is ridiculous in college basketball that you can withdraw from your college eligibility. Like you can forego your eligibility to enter the draft process. And now that they are finding like I guess
Loopholes.
it's loopholes to
Yeah.
bring these kids back to school. Like Charles Bediako came back to
But then
Alabama last night.
they can't go back to the league.
Is that true?
I don't think they can be redrafted.
No, but they can get signed.
They can get signed in free or in like as an undrafted free agent, or they could go overseas. But I mean,
So
these guys are
they're
finding
not.
loopholes because they're not going to make money in the NBA. They're not good enough. They can make money in college and be the highest paid guy on a college team and sit there, go back for another, what is it, 4 years or something like that.
Mhm. No, it's
So,
like it's what it. I guess.
or
I mean,
however much they had left in
I guess.
eligibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
A guy makes 4 mil a year. Or I'm just using that as an example. I don't know how much this Chiggy Okonkwo guy's talking about, or whatever his fucking name is. I don't know.
Charles Bediako. You just named the
Yeah,
tight end that
whatever.
if I
Yeah,
started in the fantasy championship,
I
I'd
know.
win.
Well, no, you can thank Donnie for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guy has 2 years of eligibility left, and he goes back to the NCAA. Why wouldn't you do that? I would do it.
Yeah.
It's a
Also,
piece of shit thing to do, but I would do it.
like you have a better chance of getting looked at by an NBA team playing at Alabama than you do for the Santa Cruz Warriors.
Yeah,
The G League team. Like you've got a better shot getting looked at on the college level where, people watch it. Nobody watches the G League. But like, the James Najee thing, like it's just like you're promising you're giving kids the promise as a 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid. Hey, you're going to come to our program, we're going to develop you, you're going to play. And there's other
yeah,
kids on the roster who are taking college classes doing all this. Now they're bringing back old ass kids and you're taking away the same opportunity that these guys were provided with and they gave away. They said we're ready to go to the league. You're giving it away.
yeah. I mean, Calipari spoke about it. He was upset
Everybody
about it.
speaks about it.
Yeah, but all these coaches speak about it. There's a select few who are actually not going to utilize this.
I
Calipari's not going to bring back a guy from the G League, but another guy, let's say from, I don't know who coaches Kentucky. Well, I'm just using this as another example.
Mark
Coach
Pope.
from Mark Pope can come out and say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this. I think it's wrong." Blah 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 blah. Turn around, and bring a guy from the NBA back because he realizes, "Oh shit, it's the only way I can compete."
Yeah, I mean, there's just been a bunch of like weird, like there's a Charles Bediako one who last night against Tennessee had like 13 points.
There's the
James
Baylor one.
Najee, James Najee at Baylor. Um, Puff Johnson at Ohio State played a little bit the other night against Michigan, but like his was like he got a court injunction to play until January 31st, I'm pretty sure. So maybe 2 games. And then they're going to be like, no, he can't play. So he came
Yeah.
back, got a jersey, played 2 games. Sick, bro. And then uh, Duke had an interesting one. There was a 7-footer from Queens College. I don't know his name. Something, maybe, I don't want to throw a guess out there. But he was in the transfer portal, I guess, and Duke is bringing him in as a graduate assistant to be their practice squad big man. I don't know. It's getting interesting,
Yeah.
man. That's all I gotta say. I just wanted to bring it up. It's getting interesting. I mean, I don't have any thoughts that haven't already been shared by the mass media, but something's got to change about that. It's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Do you want to say anything about the Flyers? I'll keep my mouth shut. But
I mean, it was a good win
mhm.
against the Avalanche. Um,
Best team in the
but
league, right?
yeah, they have like 6 losses or something like that. So
Yeah.
I barely watched the game. I was keeping up with it on Reel because I was out. But you know, I mean,
They
they'll go out
score,
and
man.
lose. They'll
They can
they'll go out
score.
and lose to some fucking shit team. I forget who they play tomorrow, but
They can score, but goalie's an issue.
yeah,
I
and
say it
it will
every
be for
week.
the rest
Goalie's
of
an
the
issue.
year. Oh, what are your predictions tonight?
Oh, for the football games,
Yeah,
I'll go Rams, Pats, Pats, Rams.
I'm gonna go Seahawks. Really think Denver can win. I think we're gonna see
You
Seattle
think
versus
they can?
Denver.
You think
I
they
think they
can
can
win,
win.
or do you
I
think they
think they
will
can
win?
win. I think they can win. So I'm gonna
Who do you
go with
think will
Denver.
win?
I mean,
Like you want Denver to win. You're rooting for Denver.
I would like Denver to win, but I also like Drake May. Like this isn't
So
the
do I.
Tom Brady.
I
This
like
isn't the
Drake May a
Tom
lot.
Brady Nazi Patriots that we're talking about here.
Yeah, I'm not a
This is
Robert
the
Kraft guy, but
this is the Drake May baking fucking Patriots. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I could
I
care less.
fuck with Ann.
And
I
I
fuck
like
with
Will
Ann Michael
Campbell.
and Michael May.
Yeah, I like Will Campbell. I like Christian Gonzalez. Obviously, I would like to see
Shockingly enough,
what's
I'd kind of like to see Stephon Diggs win.
that too. I want to see what's his face get a ring. I don't know why I'm blanking. Milton Williams get a ring,
Yeah,
another
yeah,
ring.
yeah, yeah.
So I could care less to see who wins today between those two teams. I just don't want the Rams to be in the Super Bowl again. I don't like McVay, so that's about it. I like
I like
Stafford,
McVay.
but I'm not a fan. I'm not a
Um,
fan.
yeah, that brings me to the question that I proposed earlier, and well, this will kind of cap us off. Well, I'll just say briefly, UFC was awesome last night.
Great,
I'm
phenomenal.
not like super educated on UFC, like to tell you who's gonna fight who down the
Uh,
line. If we had Avi on, maybe we'd have more of an interesting
future guest,
conversation.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But
Yeah. Well,
it was an awesome night.
if I'm gonna give my 2 cents, I think people are saying it's gonna be Ilya in the summer. I don't think he fights
Well,
so
he's got his
soon.
own shit to figure out. Like,
Exactly. People are like, oh, he'll fight in the summer in like June or July. I don't really think that he's gonna be fighting. uh, Maybe at the end of the year, like in November
it's gonna be
or December,
Armin.
but it's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be Gate.
Armon or
Yeah,
Armin or whatever the fuck his name is versus Gaethje.
and Armin's.
So
I think Armin probably beats him. Armin's good, man.
Sarukian.
Yeah, Armin's good.
Yeah.
But if
I mean,
Gaethje does win,
I really wanted Patty to win.
if Gate, so did I. If Gaethje, I like Gaethje. I mean, it's not for a dislike of Gaethje, but
Yeah.
I really like Patty. If Gaethje does win, I could definitely see Gaethje Ilya at the White House.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I would like to see Patty fight in
Dana
the White
said in
House
his
card.
Dana said in his I think the White House card, there's just going to be people that are going to get left off because every fight I think is going to include an American.
I hope so.
So there's going to be people that are going to get left off because, you
That's
know,
fine.
there's going to be some matchmaking decisions that are like, this guy doesn't necessarily deserve it, but we want to put an American in. So,
As much as I hate Sean Brady because he lost me a bet. I don't actually hate him, but
Philly,
I'd like
Philly
to
guy.
see, yeah, Philly guy. I'd like to see him on the card.
Like I bet Dana's little homoerotic relationship with Colby Covington, he'll be there, even though he
He'll be on
can't
the
fight for
card.
shit.
Yeah.
He can't fight for shit.
And
Sean Strickland.
he won't be a prelim either. He'll be on the
Yeah,
main card.
Yeah, he's all. I mean, has he had a fight that's even been competitive in his last like four?
Well, he got the shit kicked out of him by Leon Edwards, so
Got the
I
shit beat
mean,
out of him by oh shit, my nose just ran. Um, Joaquin Buckley. Is that
yeah.
him?
So we'll see what happens. I think you're right about the American thing. I think we'll see an American
Yeah.
on every
But
fight.
apparently he said in his Dana said in his post fight interview that he's matchmaking the White House this week, and then he's going to meet with Trump and Melania to go over the top three fights on the main card.
Dude,
I don't
imagine our
I don't know
our
what Melania
podcast
I don't know what
gets
Melania's 2 cents are going to be, but
imagine our podcast gets so big that he's like, I want to invite the backyard brawl. I want them ringside.
I don't even know how it's going to be set up, man.
Well, it's invite only. It's
Yeah,
invite
that kind of.
only. So it's going to be
You
all
think
like
that kind of takes
celebrities
away?
and
Do you think that kind of takes away from like?
like, yeah, but you can't have it. You,
Yeah,
you
you can't
you
have a
just
lot of
can't.
people there. That's
You
true.
cannot have a lot of people there. You can't. Imagine it was inside the Oval Office.
Nelk boys will be there.
Probably, yeah. Netanyahu will be there. The big net.
Ne the
The big
Nelk boys
net.
will be there. I bet Logan Paul will be there.
Yeah. Triple H,
Aiden
Triple
Ross
H will
will
be
be
there.
there.
All of TKO will be there. Everybody will be there.
Yeah,
Everybody's gonna be there. Everybody you could really probably think of from that like group of people is gonna be there.
bare knuckle people.
Yeah, McGregor will be there.
McGregor's gonna
They're
want to
all.
fight. McGregor is like trying to re-enter the pool, so it's not happening, but he's trying to re-enter. But
I'd
anyway,
like to see
to cap the
Strickland on the
show,
card.
yeah, yeah, I'm not a big Strickland fan. I think he's a little bit of
I
a
do.
weirdo with some of the stuff he says, but anyway, to cap the show, I got a question because this kind of
Hmm.
came up over the past week. Like ever since the Miami Indiana game. Do you outside of um your rivals, right? So like I'll never root for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. I'll never root for
Yeah.
the uh my whole family is Giants fans, so if it makes them happy,
No, I
I'm
couldn't.
not saying at the beginning of the season I'm going to be like I want the Giants to win this year if the Eagles don't. But if the Giants
Yeah.
got there and they won, I'd be like, nah, shit. Whereas the
Hmm.
Cowboys, I'd be like, this sucks. This
Yeah.
sucks. Uh Washington, I could care. They're irrelevant. I don't, you know. But like the Celtics, the Knicks, Mets, like those teams, I don't want to win. But if you have a game, right? If
Yeah.
you have a game like a Miami, Indiana, with no real implications to you, do you pick up a rooting interest or a root against kind of thing, or do you just hope for a good game?
Well, I don't know. In this case, I wanted Indiana to win because I do like Mendoza.
Mm.
And I mean, I have friends who go there. So obviously, I thought it would be cool for them to see, a team like Indiana win the national championship. I also didn't like Carson Beck. So there was something against him I had. But aside from that case, I would probably say I just want to see a good game.
Yeah, that's the
It's
way
like
that
the
I
number
am.
one thing. But I do find myself wanting another team to win as opposed to another team. That's just like, I feel like that's just like human nature. Like with the underdog, if there's an underdog, you obviously want the underdog to win.
I just like the way that I am in sports is like when my team is out, I don't care. I don't root against unless I said, one of those rival teams. Like if
Yeah.
like when Penn State was in, I mean, we watched that Penn State Notre Game,
Yeah, we
and
wanted them to lose.
I
Yeah.
was jolly as shit when Penn State lost.
Yeah.
But uh, I I don't really take up that rooting interest either way. Like I was watching the game with my parents and my sister, and they were like heavily rooting for Indiana, and I was just like making a joke of it. Like they would be like, "Yes," when Indiana scored. So whenever Miami scored, I would just like throw a hoot and be like, just because like if my team's not in it, I don't really like. I root for good game. I don't. My mom really wanted the Bills to win, and the Bills got out. I'm like, dude, the Bills aren't your team. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah. I mean, it's more like players. There's more players that I enjoy who I'd rather see win as opposed to another player on another team. But I don't know. I don't. I mean, I'd like to see Seattle win tonight, and I would really
I think
like
it'd
to
be a
see
bigger
Denver win.
story.
I'd really like to see Denver win because I think a backup quarterback playing in the Super Bowl is cool, especially for Eagles fans.
Hmm.
But
Well, Elliot Shore Parks apparently said he wants to keep the Nick Foles story.
yeah, I heard him. I heard them say that live on the air yesterday.
It's a
It was
clown, man.
ridiculous. It was
He also
ridiculous.
said
But
that the snowstorm wasn't going to be that bad, and
it's not bad.
it's pretty bad out
It's
there.
not.
No,
It is, but
it's definitely one of the
it's not
worst.
like it's not what they made it out to be.
It's not what they made it out to be at the beginning of the week, but it is what
No,
they
because
said.
yesterday everybody was panic buying. You're gonna get snowed in for one day. Everybody was
Okay,
panic buying at the
no, well
store for no
the
reason.
issue is my dad said this earlier. For the next 10 days, it's not going to get above freezing.
Well, yeah, the snow is gonna be on the ground, but you're not gonna not be able to leave your house. So
I don't think it's
you're gonna
one
be able
day.
to drive. You're gonna be able to drive.
I don't think it's one day. It's probably looking at more
I do.
like two,
I
three,
think you'll be able
four.
to drive tomorrow. I think you'll be able to drive tomorrow.
Ah, I don't know.
So I mean, these people bought out. Everything was gone. Everything.
I mean, I'm not
So
surprised. Like, I thought that was going to
yeah, but
happen.
this is what people do. This is what people they want to freak out.
Did you make a run to the market?
No,
I mean, do you
no.
have stuff? Like, you had enough stuff at the house?
I got nothing here. I got sweet potatoes. That's
So
it.
what's your plan?
And I've chicken that's like 4 days old. I mean, there's a restaurant right down the street that's still open.
Oh, all right.
So I mean, I kind of banked on that.
So if they had
I was
closed, you
just
were fucked.
like, yeah, but there's also like pasta in our cabinet that I can make. We have butter. The main thing we were worried about is if the power goes out, which knock on wood, I don't think it is, but
I hope not. Yeah. I got to
you
play
know,
Fortnite.
I'm in a fucking old decrepit house. So
Huh. Yeah.
whatever. I mean, no,
Yeah.
people I mean, you can't really blame them. This is what the media does. They ensue panic. Um,
The predictions
and
towards yesterday, like, were correct. Like, we
yeah, no, I'm
probably
not,
got out
but
here, like, it's
people
probably,
forget like it's a foot of snow. You're not going to be barricaded in your house by 10 feet of snow.
you're not going to be barricaded in, but a lot of people are going to make the decision that I would rather not be on the roads if I don't have to be.
Well, obviously, yeah, but I can guarantee you these people had food in their house prior to this as well. And they go out and spend $500 worth of groceries to be locked in the house for one day.
Yeah.
It
Probably
gets
all just
nuts.
eat. I
We're
mean, the
not in
food in my house at
Buffalo.
least will get eaten.
Yeah, we're not in Buffalo. All
No.
right. So you
No.
don't have to worry about 12-inch or 12 feet of snow. But I'm looking outside right now, like, hold on. It, it it's less than a foot. I mean, it's supposed to snow more, but
Yeah. It's sleet right now. That's what Alexa is saying.
what
So
people were worried about was the freezing rain. You're right. But I don't think
I would not recommend driving, which is why people
no.
went out and got food now or
Yeah.
before. That's why. You don't want to be driving.
No, but these people bought for 3 months worth of food, is what I'm saying.
You got whatever you could. I
Yeah.
mean, you also have to make the decision that, knock wood, this doesn't happen. But if the power does get out, you have to have food go out. You have to have food that you don't have to make on the stove or in the
Yeah.
oven.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah. But
It's whatever.
hopefully you're staying warm inside while you watch this. We'll give you something to do. It's probably our longest episode, I think. So give
Yeah,
you
I
an
feel like
hour
we've
of
been going on for
content.
like an hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour, something like that of content that you can tap in with. But that's episode 10. Hopefully a better week for the Sixers. Hopefully, 4-0, 3-0, however many games they play. Hopefully the Eagles get an offensive coordinator. That'd be nice.
And we'll see
Shout
what
out to
happens.
Temple basketball, 2-0 in Texas. It's good. Yeah, episode 10.
All right.
And see.
Peace.